from War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's the AAA state championship game between the Arkadelphia Badgers, ranked #1 in the state and in AAA, at 13-0 against the Whitehall Bulldogs, ranked #9 in the state and #2 in AAA at 11-2. Hi everybody, Kerry Garnett along with Taylor Carr at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Taylor, and this is what we've been waiting for, shooting for that championship game all season, and the teams are all set to go.
Kerry, I don't know whether it's irony or fate, but at the beginning of the season, everybody picked these teams in Class 3A to be 1 and 2. Arkadelphia #1 and Whitehall #2. They got here by very different routes, though. Arkadelphia undefeated throughout the season. Everyone thought all along they were the best team in Class 3A. Whitehall lost twice during the season, but came back, made some upsets during the playoff, have not allowed a point during the playoff, and this team is primed for an upset today. It should be a great ball game.
Whitehall is playing its best football of the year by far. Last week they had to upset one of the teams that beat them earlier in the season, Pine Bluff Dollarway, a team that was undefeated at the time. It was quite a game for the Bulldogs to get to this championship game, and we asked Tom Ed Gooden just how they accomplished that feat last week. Coach, you pulled the big upset last week over Dollarway. What was the difference in the game last week compared to your earlier meeting this year?
I don't think there's any doubt field position was the big thing. We pretty much kept them in the hole all night, played real good defense, and in our first meeting, every time we got the football first half, it was inside our 20. So we felt like field position was the big thing.
Now, your defense in the playoffs has been practically perfect. You haven't been scored on yet. Tell me about the defense and how it's come together the last 3 games.
Well, we have come together. Our kids are really playing well together. Back at the later stages of the season, we had a few people hurt, and we've gotten those guys back for the playoffs. So really it's just been a situation of us getting those guys together and hopefully getting healthy.
What's going to take for your team to beat Arkadelphia for the second straight week you're forced to try to pull the upset?
Well, we're going to have to play ball control football, play great field position. Defense is going to have to make their offense work. We don't, you know, nobody has shut Arkadelphia down as far as keeping them out of the end zone, but we hope to slow them down a little bit. We hope our offense can move the football so that our defense can stay on the side some.
After last week, did you settle on a quarterback?
Well, we'll still start Brian Rogers. You know, Brian's started 13 games for us. This will be his 14th, and he does a great job executing the offense. Of course, Dwayne Duck was one of those guys that was hurt mid-season, and he's come off of that injury and is really playing great too.
Give me an idea of the mental attitude of your team coming into today.
Well, we're excited to be here. You know, of course, I think there's a whole lot of people in the state of Arkansas would like to be where we are right now. We're in a situation where, of course, being the underdog, we have everything to gain, nothing to lose. So, boy, it's great to be here.
Whitehall, a team that has really fought their way to get into this championship game, but the Badgers haven't had an easy road either. They defeated a good Dumas team and then Sheridan at Hagen in front of about 9,000 fans. And then last week, the win over Van Buren. And in that game, Dennis Browning really took over.
Kerry, we've heard all year long what an all-around threat Dennis Browning is, returning balls, playing defense, playing offense. He did it all last week, scored a 102-yard touchdown return on interception for the touchdown, then caught a pass for a touchdown, played some great defense too. Browning has almost 500 all-purpose yards in the playoffs alone. Whitehall has got to stop Dennis Browning plus the other Arkadelphia offensive threats.
Well, the offense has been churning things out all season long at about 4 touchdowns per game, but the defense really came out and played well last week against Van Buren.
Defense had a good game, and as Whitehall comes into this game tonight against Arkadelphia's defense, Whitehall knows it must score at least 2 touchdowns in the ball game, because Arkadelphia has always scored at least 17 points in a game this year. And I know Whitehall coming in having to score at least 2 touchdowns, or knowing that in their minds, it's got to be a tough job for them. Arkadelphia's defense will make it very, very hard on them.
Coach John Outlaw in the state championship game for the first time since his first season back in 1979. You saw some of that film just earlier on our pregame. We talked to Coach Outlaw about the defensive effort first, and then his team here today in the state championship game. Coach, before last week's game, we talked about the defense and how there was concern over the points that had been given up by the defense. I think they came out last week and had something to prove.
Well, I thought they played a fine football game. You know, we got off to a little shaky start early, but after Dennis intercepted that pass, the intensity level really picked up of our defensive football team, and after that I thought they really dominated a good Van Buren team.
Now, what about the Whitehall team that you're playing here today? You've seen some of their game, and they pulled a big upset last week. but really dominated Dollarway. Was that a surprise to you?
No, not really. I knew they had a good football team, and they've got a great coach in Tom Ed, and hey, they're playing good football right now, as good as anybody in the state of Arkansas, and it's really going to take a great effort and great concentration, I think, for us to win.
Tell me about the attitude of the team coming out here to play. You were out here Monday afternoon practicing on the turf. What is their feeling to play out here in War Memorial?
Well, I don't think it really matters where they play at. I think they've reached their ultimate goal, and you know, I don't think as a coach there's anything I should have to say to them. If they had not prepared for today's game, they don't deserve to be champions, and they've done nothing to make me feel like they don't want to do that.
All right, Coach, we talked earlier in the season about some of the similarities between this year's team and your first team, the one that won the state championship in '79. How about some of the differences? What sets this team apart from that one?
Well, you know, it's hard to compare football teams, Kerry, and you and I have talked about it, but the chemistry and the chemical makeup of this football team is a lot like that '79 football team, and they're great young men, and you know, y'all were great kids, and I really believe that they want to play hard and want to win the thing.
Now, this is something that they felt they deserved to be here at the start of the season, and I assume that they've proved it to come here.
Well, they worked awful hard to get here. You know, you don't achieve this type of success without hard labor, as you well know. They've worked as hard as any group since the year that I had you when you were a senior in '79. So they've certainly paid the price to get here. I hope they go out and play very well.
Taylor, we talked about the two defenses, both of them recording shutouts last week, but on offense, these two teams both have two quality running backs.
Whitehall on offense has a double threat in the tailback position in Theon Barnes and Marcus Jones. Watch for Jones number 1, Barnes number 18. Barnes probably the slightly better runner, Kerry. He is also the field goal kicker for Whitehall. He was only 3 of 4 last week in field goals. He will do double duty. Theon Barnes is a key to the Whitehall attack.
And of course the Badgers with Bruce Bailey at tailback, Lavelle Ford at fullback. Very powerful rushing game. And you know, the two running backs are solid for both teams. The quarterbacks are also very important to the outcome of this game.
Well, in Whitehall's point of view, first of all, two quarterbacks, Dwayne Duck and Brian Rogers. Rogers has started all the games this year for Whitehall. He did not play a whole lot last week because Duck was back from an injury, and Duck did a marvelous job. In fact, led the team in rushing last week. Rogers will start tonight, but we'll see a lot of action from number 12, Dwayne Duck. Arkadelphia's point of view, it's John Lanius all the way, number 11. Lanius, one of the best quarterbacks in the state, certainly the best quarterback in Class 3A. He throws, he runs, he does everything. Lanius is a great player.
Well, they started off the season number 1 and 2 in AAA, and they finished the season against each other 1 and 2 in AAA. It should be a great meeting between these two teams. And today's game is brought to you in part by Edward Motor Company and McDonald's. The AAA State Championship, Arkadelphia versus Whitehall, coming up next. On the field, and we're almost set for kickoff as Arkadelphia will be kicking it off to Whitehall to begin things. And there you can see one of the cars going across the field that has Badgers written on the side of it. That looks real familiar, Taylor. I think they might have stolen that from Henderson State University and strapped a little Badger sign on the side of it. But obviously the sport is really big for both of these teams, and we have an excellent crowd for this game, Taylor.
Kerry, it is a great crowd. Lots of folks from the Arkadelphia area, lots of folks from the Pine Bluff area. I hope it's as good a ball game as the crowd is, and I think if Whitehall can play a very good game, it should be. But they'll need a great game against an outstanding Arkadelphia team. And we talked about the records and how Arkadelphia was supposed to be here. Well, the Badgers are here, 13-0 on the season against an 11-2 Whitehall team. And how ironic it is that both these teams were picked 1 and 2 in the state in Class 3A, and here they are in the championship game.
That's really something. I know a lot of the people who predict high school football, not an easy thing to do, have to be patting themselves on the back a little bit for this one, because they chose the top two teams before anybody had played a game, and now they're meeting each other here at War Memorial. Andy Russell will kick things off for Arkadelphia, and number 1, Marcus Jones, is deep for Whitehall. And we're underway in the AAA state championship game. It's Theon Barnes instead with the ball at the 14, and he is rocked. What a great hit down there for the Badgers. Quickly on the coverage, Michael Somerville, I believe, was the man down there. Also quickly was Darren Gwynn. And the Bulldogs are back on their own 13-yard line to start things off here in this game.
And Kerry, maybe that'll set the tone for the ball game. A very hard hit on the very first possession, first play of the game. It should be a dandy.
Brian Rogers, the quarterback, pitches back to Theon Barnes. Barnes picks up 5 before stopped by Greg Somerville, the defensive end for the Badgers.
Kerry, for Whitehall on offense, the byword is senior domination. In fact, on both sides of the football. Offensively, 10 of 11 offensive starters are seniors. On defense, there are 10 starters. This is a very good Whitehall football team on both sides of the football, but a very experienced team, too.
A 2nd down and 5 after the first play. This time the fullback, Tyra Carpenter. Carpenter goes nowhere, met by Ricky Davis first. And Whitehall will be faced with a 3rd down and 5.
We'll see Tyra Carpenter get the ball tonight, but he's used mainly as a blocking back for Whitehall. Carpenter doesn't have much size at all for a fullback, only 5'7", 160, but he is an outstanding blocker, as now Whitehall is faced with a 3rd down situation.
And let's see if Whitehall might put things up in the air. They have Doug Doggett, number 31, split out to the right side. The pitch goes to Theon Barnes. Barnes dives for first down yardage just beyond the 24-yard line. Carter McMillan was over there for Arkadelphia.
Man, there's the first down of the ball game. Whitehall had to struggle a little bit, but they're moving the football.
Bulldogs got just enough for a 1st down at the 24. 10:25 to go in the first period.
Kerry, we talked about Whitehall, what Whitehall would have to do in this ball game. They figure they've got to score at least 2 touchdowns because Arkadelphia in every game this year has scored at least 17 points. So at the very minimum, 2 touchdowns.
Barnes gets the ball again. Chris Griffith was there for Arkadelphia, and Derek Sally.
Players to watch for defensively for Arkadelphia, the entire middle of the defense, Kerry. 58, Scotty Gills, a linebacker, along with 56, Derek Sally. Sally is a junior, Gills is a senior. And look at the middle of the line, make the tackle there. The middle of Arkadelphia's defense is so tough. Also, the nose guard for Arkadelphia, 63, Ricky Davis, 5'10", a senior, 235 pounds at nose guard.
On 2nd down, Rogers throws it. It's complete. Chuck Vereen has it at the 31-yard line. John Pipkin and Carter McMillan on the defense.
Rogers has started every game this year for Whitehall. Dwayne Duck will play some. Rogers probably the better passer. Just got a quick pass off there. That's only designed to gain a few yards. Did what it did. Now it's a 3rd and about 3.5 for Whitehall.
And it was the strong safety, Fred Davis, number 3, making the stop on that play. It is 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Theon Barnes stopped after a short gain. Ricky Davis makes the stop. And also Fred Owens, number 57.
Davis came from his nose guard spot to make the play. 235 pounds on Theon Barnes. And they have stopped Whitehall on 3rd down, 4th and a little bit more than 1 now for the Bulldogs. They'll punt it.
And Brian Rogers, the quarterback, drops the punt. Dennis Browning and Bruce Bailey at about their own 39-yard line. Low line drive punt is down by Whitehall's Dwayne Duck at the 42-yard line, where the Badgers will take over for their first possession.
Kerry, only a 25-yard punt. We've discussed earlier in the broadcast, or you and I discussed it anyway, punting could be a factor in this ball game because neither of these teams has a very productive punter. Whitehall's punter, Parks, is the only sophomore that really gets any action at all for the Bulldogs. He got off a 25-yarder there, and I know for Arkadelphia the punting situation isn't a whole lot better. Warren Fendley averaging fewer than 30 yards per punt. So punting could be a key factor in the game, particularly if one team has some very good punts.
John Lanius, the quarterback, hands to Bruce Bailey. Whitehall defense is there, led by number 55. That's Kevin Hubbard, one of the linebackers. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8. It's Bailey again on the pitch. Bruce Bailey picks up big yardage to the Whitehall 31-yard line. First down, Arkadelphia.
And there's the Badgers' first down of the ball game, and what a run by Bruce Bailey. Statistician Gary Garner says officially a 21-yarder so far, longest run of the game. And look at Bailey go, plays off a block there. If he'd beaten one more man right there, he might have made it to the end zone, but a great run for Bailey.
Arkadelphia uses that pitch sweep to perfection. That's the off-tackle variety. And Bailey got excellent blocks from the right side of that line. Pick up the 21 yards. First down, they say at the 32-yard line. Lavelle Fort, the fullback. Fort picks up about 2 yards. Stopped there by John Welch, number 43.
You know, Kerry, with Fort and Bailey, I think Arkadelphia has the best 1-2 backfield punch in high school football this year. They are both great runners. They both fall down going forward. They both keep moving. They are great runners while they're getting hit.
2nd and 8 at the Whitehall 30-yard line. Bailey on a counter play. Bailey following Gary Jackson, one of the pulling guards, picks up about 7 yards, close to a first down, but short by about a yard.
Now, Kerry, as you start looking at this Whitehall defense, some players to look for. The linebackers, 68 and 43. 68 is Lonnie Childress. He's a senior, 5'10", 200 pounds. 43 is John Welsh. He is a junior, and Welsh transferred in at midseason. We'll have more on that a little bit later, but watch for 63, or rather 68 and 43.
Bailey on 3rd down has the first down. Stop made by Frederick Rhodes and Chuck Vereen, but first down Badgers at the Whitehall 18.
Again, it's the handoff to Bailey, and he goes off of left tackle. And as we mentioned, he is such a hard runner when he's getting hit by the football. Drives ahead for the first down. Bruce Bailey's outstanding.
1st and 10 at the 18. Lavelle Fort. And Whitehall doing a good job on Lavelle Fort so far. Short gain stop made by Lonnie Childress and Greg Wooten after a gain of about 2 yards.
Kerry, as Arkadelphia gets down here inside the 20, in fact close to the 15 now, you think that this Whitehall team has not given up a point in the playoffs. And if Arkadelphia scores here, it'll be Whitehall's first playoff points.
Bailey on a pitch to the left side. Bailey close to that first down yardage at around the 8-yard line. Following the blocks of Darren Nix, number 75.
Look at this. What's working for Arkadelphia is getting the ball to Bailey deep in the backfield. Bruce Bailey picks his own holes, gets it inside the 10 all the way to the 8-yard line with hard running that we've seen all season.
It's just short of a first down, 3rd down, and about 1. Bailey again. Bruce Bailey scores from 7 yards out, and Arkadelphia takes the lead.
And it's Bailey once again with the chance to look where his blockers are, play off the blocks, then fight through some tackles like he does so well. Bailey finds the end zone. He is Arkadelphia's touchdown machine.
That time, Rusty Dew, the right tackle, got a great block on the outside. Bailey in for the touchdown, and Andy Russell on to try the extra point. It's good. 4:45 to go in the first period of play. The Arkadelphia fans are happy. Bruce Bailey has the first touchdown, and it's 7-0 Arkadelphia, leading Whitehall in the AAA state championship game.
If there's one thing Southerners love, it's their truck. They like them to be rough, hard-nosed, and full of true performance. And there's nothing that'll make a Southerner's heart beat faster than the all-new Value Pack 88 full-size Dodge pickup truck. Test drive one today at your Southern Dodge dealer. From city to country, from back roads to bayous, there's only one truck for you, and it's got to be a Dodge. See the all-new line of 88 Dodge trucks at Edward Motor Company, 600 Malvern, Hot Springs. Hi, I'm Robert Ford. Be watching weekdays at noon for 26 and You, live right here on KRZB TV 26.
I'm Linda Pudgeon, and we'll have interviews with city officials, club organizations, health professionals, and also KRZB's Good Person of the Week award.
Les Bolton will be here giving us a look at the latest news and weather in the Diamond Lakes area. Plus, we've got lots of things to give away, our community calendar, plus lots and lots of fun. Don't miss 26 and You right here every weekday on TV 26.
Here's the touchdown run by Bruce Bailey from 7 yards out. Bailey finds the end zone. Bailey in this ball game carried 5 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown. How does he do it? He does it because he's a great athlete. He has great blocks off the right side of the line where they love to run. Bruce Bailey finds the end zone for Arkadelphia.
Chris Webb, the right guard, David Borthman, everybody along that line, excellent blocks that time. And Andy Russell kicks it off deep. This time it will be Marcus Jones at the 8. John Pipkin, number 25, down quickly for the Badgers, makes the stop at the 27-yard line, and Whitehall will have their second possession of the game, trailing 7-0.
Carry that Arkadelphia touchdown drive, 57 yards for the touchdown by Bruce Bailey.
And they did it in less than 4 minutes, moving in for the score. Deion Barnes, the tailback. Barnes with a big hole and a gain of 12 for a Whitehall first down.
Theon Barnes, 5'11". He only weighs 155 pounds, but Barnes is a lot like the Arkadelphia running backs. He can run through tackles, and watch, he'll go through the line here, runs through some tackles, gets an extra 2 or 3 yards. He is a good runner, just like the Arkadelphia backs are.
First down is out past the 39-yard line. It's Barnes again. Barnes following the right side. Brought down by John Pipkin, but not before a gain of 9 yards.
With that carry now, Theon Barnes has carried the ball 6 times for 35 yards, and he has been pretty much all of Whitehall's offensive attack so far.
Whitehall, though, one of the more balanced teams that Arkadelphia has certainly seen this season. Maybe as balanced as Texarkana was, and that was way back in the 3rd game of the year.
And that was Arkadelphia's toughest game of the year, too.
Rogers throws it out. It's complete. Ricky Francis, the flanker, has the catch. They wait with the pass on 2nd and short, and they have it at the Arkadelphia 41-yard line.
And there's another Whitehall first down. Francis doesn't have much size either. He's only 5'8", 145, and of course he's a senior on this Whitehall team, but it was a nice catch there by Francis.
Francis, the favorite target of Brian Rogers, the quarterback, fought that one for a first down at the 40 of Arkadelphia. Deion Barnes. Barnes met at the line of scrimmage by big Chris Griffith, number 72.
I tell you, it's tough to run up the middle against Arkadelphia. Theon Barnes finds out right there. Look at Griffith, drive him back. We mentioned Theon Barnes isn't very big. If you get him in a lock, you can probably pull him down or at least push him down. The thing is catching Theon Barnes.
Barnes got just 1 yard, and it's 2nd down 9 now for Whitehall. And it's Barnes to the left side. Greg Somerville stretched it out for the Badgers that time, only a gain of 1. It will bring up 3rd and 8.
You know, on that play, Kerry, Whitehall tried to do what Arkadelphia was having so much luck with, and that is getting the ball back deep to the back in the backfield and letting him pick his holes. Great pursuit, though, by the Badger defense.
3rd down 8 from the Arkadelphia 38-yard line. 2:07 to go in the first period of play. Arkadelphia leads 7-0. Rogers to throw. Rogers goes down in a pile of Badgers. Chris Griffith was the first one there.
And Kerry, Rogers had the pocket for a little while here. Watch this. He steps up into the pocket and it collapses right there. Tries to scramble out. Great pursuit by the lineman. It's a loss on the play. 4th down and long now for the Bulldogs.
And it's Brian Rogers punting away again. Browning takes it at the 2-yard line. Dennis Browning took a chance that time to field the punt at his own 2, and he's dropped immediately. The Arkadelphia team backed up by a good punt from Rogers.
And Kerry, there's a case there where a punt really made a difference. That punt was a 37-yarder, and that pins Arkadelphia deep, and so an example there of where Whitehall can do some things with its punting.
Well, field position certainly on the minds of Tom Ed Gooden, the head coach of Whitehall. He has the Badgers right where he wants them on offense, the 1-yard line. Lanius, the quarterback, keeps it. John Welch was there for Whitehall.
On that last possession, Kerry, Whitehall was able to keep the ball for 34 yards, picked up 2 first downs before they punted it. And really, that's a big plus for them because they've now got Arkadelphia pinned back deep inside its own 5-yard line. Of course, the Badgers have been known to go long distances for touchdowns this year.
Tato, this clock really moving in the first quarter. We're under 40 seconds left in the quarter. Bruce Bailey, the tailback. Bailey met by Chuck Vereen. After a gain of about 6 yards, it will be 3rd and short.
It has been going fast. As we mentioned, a great crowd here from both sides of the football, both sides of this great rivalry. And these are two teams that play in the same part of the state. And we've talked all season long about how we felt some of the best football was played in South Arkansas. I think this Class 3A final proves it.
1 second left in the quarter, and the Badgers will not get off the 3rd down play before the first quarter expires. And they'll move to the other end and try 3rd down from there. But the Badgers, after 1 period of play, lead Whitehall 7-0.
Do you believe in miracles? Well, Lyndall Trimble does, so listen carefully. Sure, he's got a gigantic inventory of 1988 Toyotas and at low, low prices, but this time there's even more. On December 22nd, Lyndall Trimble is going to give away this beautiful 1988 Toyota Tercel. That's right, I said give away. Tercel with its smooth styling just in time for Christmas. Hurry now, see the 1988 Toyota of your choice and register to win only at Lyndall Trimble Motors. Truly the miracle dealership in Hot Springs.
The magic of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton.
I'll be home with bells on. This Christmas I'll be home with bells on.
Sharing laughter and good times. Sharing the inspiration of giving. Sharing this song-filled hour together on television for the first time. Celebrate with Kenny and Dolly, A Christmas to Remember.
Wednesday, December 9th at 6:58 p.m. on TV 26. 3rd down and 2 for Arkadelphia from their own 2-yard line as we begin play in the second quarter. Bruce Bailey. The ball is loose. And Whitehall has recovered at the 12.
And Kerry, this is the break. Apparently the Whitehall need, although there's still some discussion. Let's watch it here. Bailey is going to try to cut it up through the middle, hit very hard. Some question of now, where's the ball? Whitehall says they've got it, and now the crowd says, or the officials say, it's Arkadelphia's football. They ruled that Bruce Bailey was down before the ball came loose, so a bullet dodged, so to speak, by the Badgers. No fumble by Bailey. The Badgers still have the ball.
Well, from that angle, it's very difficult to tell whether Bailey was down before the ball came loose. A close call. At first, the official ruled that Whitehall had recovered a fumble, and they turned it around. Badgers first down at the 12. A very big call. Lavelle Fort, the fullback, on first down. It was enough for a first down. Fort picks up about 3.
So that goes down as just yardage gain for Bailey. No fumble on that play. The first down for the Badgers was their 4th in the game, compared to 3 for Whitehall. And even though Arkadelphia leads on the scoreboard, both teams have had some success moving the ball.
Fort reached the 16 for a gain of 4, 2nd and 6, and Bruce Bailey now. Bailey stopped by Josh Dugan, number 83. A good stop by the defensive end for Whitehall.
Yeah, Dugan fought off a block there. Dugan is 6'1", 210 pounds. He just fought off his block there, managed to get Bailey in his arms and pull him down. Whitehall defense is looking pretty good too, Kerry.
Bailey stopped 3 yards from a first down. The Badgers need to get to the 23-yard line. Second down and third down now and 3. Bailey with the handoff. Good hit by John Welch, number 43.
Official timeout. Now, Kerry Welch is the youngster we talked about. John Welch wasn't on this team when the season started. He transferred from Woodlawn in mid-season as a junior, came onto this team and unseated Keith Thomas from the linebacker spot. So Welch is a junior starting in a very senior-dominated defense for Whitehall.
And Welch had suffered a broken leg, Taylor, after he had earned a starting spot. You're right, after the season had already begun and had to sit out 2 of the big games for Whitehall in the season. The Dalloway and Sheridan game, he was not available. As you see, the first down was picked up by the Badgers. Another close play, but the Badgers have just enough for a first down at their own 23. And in the playoffs, John Welch's return has been a big part of that defense for Whitehall.
He's a boy playing among men. Most of these guys, in fact, 10 of 11 will not be back yet next year. That first down by Arkadelphia was number 5.
Dennis Browning is set up in a slot now. LaBelle Ford gets the handoff. And Taylor, we have yet to see the Badgers throw a pass in this game. A little surprising. Whitehall has attempted more passes than Arkadelphia.
You know, Kerry, there's some wind down there, and I don't know if that has anything to do with Coach Outlaw's thinking, but what must have something to do with his thinking is the fact that his running backs are doing an awfully good job, in particular Bruce Bailey, who's already over 40 yards on the ball game with the touchdown.
Second down and 7 now. Again, the slot eye with Browning. And LaBelle Ford with the handoff. The Badgers are getting it 2 and 3 yards at a time. That time Kevin Hubbard made the stop. But it's another third down and short for Arkadelphia.
You know, this is only Arkadelphia's second possession of the whole ball game. We're already under the 9.5-minute mark in the second quarter. Both teams have had the football and held on to it for a while. Usually, a team is on its third or fourth possession by this time.
Third down and 3. Bailey again. This time he stopped short. John Welch, number 43, and Dwayne Duck, number 12, there to make the stop.
Yeah, now Duck 12 is the guy we may see a quarterback later in this game for Whitehall. Watch him here. Now Duck's going to come in. Duck's helping from the weak side there. Duck and Welch help drive Bailey down. It's going to be short of a first down, 4th and about 2 now for Arkadelphia.
The Badgers hesitated for a moment. Now send the punt unit on the field. On 4th and 2, Arkadelphia will apparently punt it away with Warren Finley. Whitehall has 10 men up at the line of scrimmage.
Ricky Francis is deep for Whitehall.
Finley punts it away. And it takes a Whitehall bounce out near midfield. Arkadelphia downs it at the 48-yard line. Excellent field position for Whitehall.
The Whitehall 48-yard line.
And again, punting comes into play. That punt, let me figure it out, I think only 28 yards. Only 28 yards on the punt, and as you said, Kerry, Whitehall has great field position.
Well, down 7-0. This is really a pretty big possession for the Bulldogs. And Taylor, I think we might see, for the first time in this game, Dwayne Duck at quarterback.
We saw Duck on defense. You know, he's one of those guys that can play everywhere, but he's a very good quarterback. Duck can also run with the football. In fact, led Whitehall in rushing last week in the upset of Dollarway.
Marcus Jones is the new tailback. Jones number 1 behind Duck, but he's stopped by Fred Owens. So a new quarterback, a new tailback for Whitehall. And Jones lost a yard. Second down and 11 now at Whitehall's own 47-yard line. Duck on the rollout. John Pipkin wraps him up in Arkadelphia territory. And there you saw some of the running ability of Dwayne Duck.
Yeah, and that right there is the difference between Duck and Brian Rogers. And it looks like Duck's still on the turf, but Dwayne Duck can run with the football. He took a pretty big shot right there. Here's quarterback Dwayne Duck. Plays in the secondary. He is the backup quarterback, although we know he's going to play a lot. He is going to go right side. Looks like this is a run all the way. He is a better runner than Rogers. Ooh, took quite a shot there. A very big hit from the defender, and Dwayne Duck is still down on the ground. John Pipkin applied the hit to Dwayne Duck.
And it looked like one of those shots to the midsection that might knock the breath out of somebody. Duck is down there motionless on the field.
Yeah, and from up here, you really hope that's all that happened. I really want to see a good ball game, and you hate the young man to get hurt more than anything else.
But Taylor, we talked about the Badger defense last week. That's the kind of hitting that the defensive secondary put on the Van Buren team that had been missing in earlier weeks. The defensive secondary, some people think the weak link for Arkadelphia. They went out and just were headhunters last week.
Terry, last week Arkadelphia got back to good, basic, hard-hitting football as Dwayne Duck gets up. But the Badgers last week really delivered some good hits. They're doing it again today. They've knocked Dwayne Duck out of the game at least temporarily, and now Rogers will come back in at quarterback for the Whitehall Bulldogs.
Well, we got a shot there, just on the right of your screen. Coach Tom Ed Gooden on the headsets to the press box area. Somebody up here is looking things over as Brian Rogers returns at quarterback on 3rd and 4. He gives to Marcus Jones. Ricky Davis, Donnie Thomas there. It's just short of a first down at the Arkadelphia 44.
You know, it's hard to believe that Jones is their biggest running back. He's only 6 feet tall, 165 pounds, and he is the heaviest Whitehall running back. They don't have much size up here. Now 4th and short, and they're at least thinking about going for it, and apparently they will.
And the Badgers have brought Dennis Browning in as a defensive back if Whitehall tries to go for it, and they appear that they will. 4th down and 1 yard. Marcus Jones gets the first down inside the 40-yard line.
Hey, no question about that one. A good run by Marcus Jones and a great job there by the Whitehall offensive line. Look at Jones go. Offensive line helped clear the way there. Whitehall on offense, Keith Lunsford, Steve Whiteside in there on the right side, along with George Bogey, the center, and they cleared a nice path.
Whitehall's offensive line giving up some pounds to the Badger defensive line, but that time they opened the hole, and it's first down at the Arkadelphia 37. Again, Marcus Jones, the tailback. He spins off Ricky Davis for about 5 yards.
And as Whitehall approaches the 30-yard line, they've already moved 20 yards on this drive. And again, neither team has had to have 3 plays and punt the ball. They've all moved the ball at least a little bit. Arkadelphia the farthest for a touchdown, but Whitehall has moved it somewhat too.
We've seen all Marcus Jones on this drive after Theon Barnes was the tailback in the first period for Whitehall. Now split backs for the Bulldogs, and Rogers to throw. Fred Owens, number 57, makes the stop for the Badgers.
Fred Owens has a sack dance here. Let's watch Owens. Owens, 6'1", 170 pounds. He is going to one-on-one tackle Rogers here. Boom, he was fighting off a block. Now watch Owens as he gets up. His imitation of Brian Gastineau. I got you, buddy.
A loss on the play back to the 39-yard line. Owens just ran through the block of fullback Tyra Carpenter to get to Rogers. Third down at 12.
Owens just a junior, too.
Rogers throws it out. Good coverage by the Badgers. John Pipkin out there covering 89 Greg Wooten, and it will bring up 4th down and 12.
You know what this means, though, Kerry, obviously this is a punting situation for Whitehall, but it's another chance to pin Arkadelphia way back deep in its own territory. This punt will be hit from around the 50-yard line.
Rogers, instead of the sophomore Todd Park, has punted every time today. And again, Browning and Bailey back at about the 10. Bailey backs up at the 1-yard line to field the punt.
Bruce Bailey on the kick return.
And Taylor, guess who was down there to make the tackle? Dwayne Duck for the Bulldogs.
Hey, and Kerry, I think we might have called it early in the ball game. Punting for Whitehall has been very, very important and Rogers has come on as the punter, hit a 37-yarder to pin Arkadelphia back at the 1, now a 38-yarder with the 4-yard return at the 5-yard line. Great field position defensively for Whitehall.
Arkadelphia just out past their own 5-yard line. It's Dennis Browning on the flanker reverse. Doug Doggett, number 31, slowed things up, and Dwayne Duck also helped on the stop.
Hey, watch Browning here. Browning loves to run this reverse play. He has got visions, I promise you, of a 95-yard touchdown run. He says, ooh, I cut it right here, and he trips right there. If he'd gotten outside, Browning would have had clear sailing at least for 15 or 20 yards before the safety could have come and got him. As it goes as a 2-yard gain.
Lavelle Ford on second down.
Lavelle Ford carries.
More good defense from the inside of the Whitehall line. Lonnie Childress, number 68, helps on the tackle there. And the Badgers have a 3rd and 6.
For Arkadelphia, Kerry Bailey has been the real workhorse. 10 carries, 55 yards. That was Fort's 7th carry. He has got 25 yards on 7 carries.
3rd down 6, Arkadelphia from their own 10-yard line. Delay handoff to Bailey. Chuck Vereen right there for the Bulldogs, and the Badgers will have to punt it away from around their own goal line.
This is the first time in the ball game that the team has been held without a first down on a possession. Bailey tries to go outside this time, doing what he's done in the game. The Whitehall defense has caught on somewhat, limit him to what, a 1 or 2 yard gain, and now a pressure punting situation for the Badgers.
Ricky Francis back to receive the punt from Warren Finley. It's Francis watching the ball bounce, and look at that, at the 39-yard line of Arkadelphia. Whitehall will have it there with 2:23 left in the first period of play. Arkadelphia out front 7-0.
Football is at the 39-yard line.
So again, Taylor, Whitehall a good chance to try to tie things up here as we near the end of the first half of play.
And another punt that didn't do much. That punt went for 29 yards, and Whitehall has got great field position again. They'll start from Arkadelphia's 39. You can't ask for better than that if you're Whitehall.
Dwayne Duck is the quarterback again for Whitehall. Duck hits Greg Wooten, number 89, and it's enough for a first down. Derek Sally back there for the Badgers. Whitehall is at the 28.
Duck rolls right side, gets a little pass off. Nice catch there. That's just designed to get 8 to 10 yards. Gets exactly 10.5. It's a first down for Whitehall, now inside the Arkadelphia 30.
Rogers puts it up again, this time trying to find Doug Doggett out there. Incomplete. And it's 2nd and 10.
You see 31 Doggett running off the field there. Another tiny guy that plays for this Whitehall team. Doggett, 5'9", 145 pounds, defensive back, wide receiver. He's a senior, of course. And these Whitehall team, Kerry, doing things and doing a lot of good things without too much size, particularly among their offensive backs.
And Dwayne Duck has really come into the game throwing the ball. He'll try again. Duck decides to tuck it under and run the ball. John Pipkin makes the stop, but Dwayne Duck picks up about 6 yards inside the 23.
You know, and this is what makes Duck so dangerous. Dwayne knows if I see a guy wide open, he's going to throw the ball. Right here, he decides he's going to tuck it up, and he needs to tuck the ball up right there. Makes a nice gain on the play. Tackle made by Pipkin, but that is why quarterback Duck, number 12, is so dangerous.
Whitehall's called a timeout before this 3rd down and about 4. 1:22 left in the first half. Arkadelphia out front 7-0. And a big 3rd down coming up for both teams.
That's the first time out of the game called by in fact, first time out for either team, and Arkadelphia is the team that calls it.
Taylor, last week against Dalloway, the Bulldogs threw the ball 13 times for 59 yards, completing 5. And today they may hit close to 13 in the first half. They've really come out throwing the ball.
And they probably realize they've got to do that to try and win the ball game. There on the far sideline is Whitehall coach Tom Ed Gooden. Gooden still holds a number of records at Harding University. In fact, Gooden at Harding is still the all-time career touchdown pass leader with 22, season touchdown passes with 11, career extra points with 53, and season extra points with 21. Tom Ed Gooden was quite a college quarterback and a team captain at Harding University between 1970 and 73, and he's a dandy high school coach too.
3rd down and 4 yards now for Whitehall. Brian Rogers is back in at quarterback. He hits Doug Doggett near the first down yardage at the 18-yard line.
Hey, and Doggett took a shot there too, had to go up and catch the ball. He knows he's going to get hit here. Now watch Doggett jump up to catch it, is immediately drilled from behind, and a very nice form tackle by Arkadelphia's Donnie Thomas. It's enough for a first down for Whitehall.
Well, how about that? Shuffling quarterbacks now by Coach Gooden as he sends Dwayne Duck in. Rogers gets the big 3rd down conversion, and Dwayne Duck comes back in on 1st down. 1:05 left in the half. The clock is running. Whitehall with a great scoring chance at the Arkadelphia 17. Duck throws to Marcus Jones. Jones has the ball to the 10, but a flag is down. Taylor, I do not remember a penalty flag in this game.
That's the first one of the ball game, and this play designed to be a very quick pass, a quick rollout right side. Look at the pursuit coming from the Arkadelphia defense. Got the pass off, but a penalty is assessed on the play, and it will go against Whitehall.
So wipe out the gain of 7 on the pass from Duck to Marcus Jones. And we get the official call of holding against Whitehall.
Kerry, let's watch the replay and see if we can see the hold here. Again, it's going to roll to the right side, and it's really tough to see from that angle, but apparently one of the linemen, probably the left guard or the left tackle, tried to get those Arkadelphia defensive linemen out of the way and did so by holding. That's the first penalty of the whole ball game for either team.
It's a big one, too, because it moves Whitehall all the way back to the 26-yard line. They had reached the 10 on that pass completion, but the Whitehall line caught holding there has done such a good job holding the Badgers out and giving the quarterback enough time to throw the ball, something they've done very successfully so far. It's 1st and 20 now from the 26.
And now here's a real test for Whitehall. They've got to go a long way for a first down.
Duck wants to run again. Scotty Gills chased Dwayne Duck out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
And Duck keeps your defensive backs honest there because he was looking for the player out in the flat on the left side, but the backs know, Kerry, that if they go too far in their coverage of the halfbacks or the wide receivers, the Duck can duck it up, and run the football, as he did that time. A nice gain on the play, and that's why Dwayne Duck is a good quarterback and a good alternative to Rogers at certain times in the game.
Well, some of the newspapers after the wet game last week against Dalloway were saying that Duck was the appropriate quarterback to have out there on the wet field. He made a good run there, and it's 2nd and 14 now. Duck throws to the end zone toward Ricky Francis, but Dwayne Duck was under heavy pressure by the defensive line from Arkadelphia.
Whitehall lined up that time with 3 wideouts, 2 on the left side, 1 on the right side, and it appeared that Francis wanted some kind of a holding call or something like that. That wasn't about to come, and the goal is an incompletion.
Well, now it's 3rd down, and Whitehall almost forced to throw the ball toward the end zone with just 17 seconds left, Taylor. They do have 2 timeouts here in the first half. 3rd and 14 from the Arkadelphia 20. The pass to the end zone, tipped away.
And Carey now with 12 seconds left. I suspect we'll see a field goal try from Barnes. But here on the long third down play, we'll see what Whitehall tries to do. They've got to get it inside the 7 for the first down. Duck, a little play action. We'll look over the middle. He had a man over the middle, but it would have had to have been a perfect pass. And you can see Arkadelphia defenders all over the place. And now it's going to force Whitehall to try for a field goal.
And I believe it's Derek Sally, number 56, who gets the hand on the ball. We will see Theon Barnes attempting a field goal. 1 of 4 last week, but that's all he needed. This one comes from 37 yards. And Rogers gets the bad snap. The Badgers bury Brian Rogers. Greg Somerville, number 85, there to make the tackle.
Rogers thought for a second he could get it down on the tee, but then he realized, wait, I'm a quarterback, I can run with it. Not this time. Arkadelphia had a good defensive charge. No field goal try. Now the Badgers have got 8 seconds in which to go 69 yards.
And we may see the first pass of the game from Arkadelphia. Lanius tries to go deep to Dennis Browning, but it's intercepted by Ricky Francis, and that's the end of the half.
Has that pass come down yet? I mean, he really threw it up there. Really not much to lose there. And Kerry, it was a great first half.
7-0 Arkadelphia as we hit the halftime. We'll be back with some halftime highlights right after this. Almost set to begin play in the second half. Very closely played first half. 7-0 Arkadelphia after 1. On the run from Bruce Bailey, 7 yards out. Arkadelphia will be receiving the second half kickoff, and the lights are on here at War Memorial. You'll probably be able to tell that on your screen as we're almost at nightfall in this AAA state championship game. You know, Taylor, one thing about this close game, the crowd is certainly into it. Both sides brought a lot of people here, and the crowd is continuing to gain in momentum.
I mean, this is a great crowd. Now, I would guess, I don't know, what, around 10,000?
I'd say we'd have to go at least that high. The kickoff coming from Marcus Jones, number 1. And Dennis Browning has it at the 14. No, Bruce Bailey. Bailey took the kickoff back to about the 26-yard line. Arkadelphia deep in its own territory again as they start the second half.
And we'll see now if Arkadelphia is going to throw the ball a little bit more here in the second half. They've had a lot of success running it so far.
Bruce Bailey, the tailback. John Welch and Greg Wooten on the stop after a gain of about 4.
This play worked a lot in the first half. Bailey picking his holes this time through the middle of the line. Lineman come up, and then a nice play there by the defensive secondary. Making the tackle for Whitehall was Dwayne Duck, the guy who's also played some quarterback this evening.
Closer to 3 yards on the gain. Say second and a short 7. Lanius dumps to Bailey. Bailey carries it out to the 33-yard line. Only a gain of about 3 yards.
And there's the Badgers' first complete pass of the evening. Lanius is going to look deep, and I don't know if that's so much as, well, maybe we might get someone open. But now he's going to have the safety valve here. Bailey out of the backfield, and Bruce picks up across the 30 all the way to the 33-yard line. And a short distance now, 30 short for Arkadelphia.
And it's Bailey again. Cuts back and picks up the first down. Dwayne Duck on another good tackle for Whitehall.
That's the first down of the second half, number 7 on the ball game for the Badgers. They got the ball across the 35, or their own 35-yard line.
10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. In case you've just tuned in, 7-0 Arkadelphia. First down at the 37. Lavelle Ford stop by John Welch. What a play by Welch right in the backfield.
Kerry, we've called Welch's name quite a bit today. Welch, of course, the junior member of that defensive squad for Whitehall, and he just makes a good football tackle there. Makes a second down and long now for Arkadelphia.
Lavelle Fort really unable to get on track. He has been stuffed by the interior of that Bulldog defense. Lanius. John Lanius, the quarterback, picks up about 12 yards. Faked the pitch that time, Taylor, on a little reverse option we haven't seen yet tonight.
And for John Lanius, that's his first time to really get a significant run. And Lanius can run the football. That's what makes him, like Dwayne Duck for Whitehall, that's what makes Lanius a dangerous quarterback. Picks up the first down. They're across midfield now.
The Badgers have not seen a whole lot of Whitehall territory since the first period. They're at the Bulldog 49. And Bruce Bailey.
Bruce Bailey carried.
Bailey stopped on a good tackle by Kevin Hubbard, one of the linebackers.
Kevin Hubbard.
Kerry, before we get real carried away in the ball game, I've just got to say what a marvelous job this production crew has done. This is a great-looking football telecast. I know they did one for a Fort Smith station last night. They just raved and raved at how good the pictures have looked. These guys and gals have done a marvelous job.
Lavelle Fort, the fullback. Fort has 5 yards. Stopped by Marcus Jones. And it's 3rd and short.
You know, of all the backs in this ball game, Lavelle Fort is the only one that really has any decent size. Fort is 6'1", 205. He's the fullback. And as he showed right there, he can get in traffic and pick up some extra yards.
On 3rd and 2. Bruce Bailey. Good stop by Marcus Jones, but Bailey has enough for a first down at the 37.
This drive started back on the Arkadelphia 26-yard line. I want to mention some first half stats here before we get too far into the second half, as we see Coach John Outlaw going for his second state championship. The last one came in '79. First downs in the first half, 6-5 Arkadelphia. Rushing yards, 85-56 Arkadelphia. The passing went to Whitehall, 31-0.
1st and 10 Arkadelphia now. Lanius on the counter option. Lanius pitches to Bailey, and Bailey picks up the rest of 10 yards and another first down.
Hey, and that play worked to perfection that time, and a great job, John Lanius, of optioning the ball on the man as the man committed himself to Lanius. It's another first down. Kerry, Arkadelphia is looking like it did at the beginning of the first half and really moving the football.
First down, Badgers at the Whitehall 26. Lavelle Fort, the fullback.
Lavelle Fort carried.
Fort stopped by Steve Whiteside, number 74. Bailey now up to 83 yards rushing on 16 carries. Getting closer to his normal average of a little bit over 100 yards a game. Lanius to throw. And Dennis Browning makes his first catch of the ball game at the Whitehall 15-yard line.
And I think running it, set this up here in the second half. He'll quickly spin. He knows Browning is going to be right there. Dennis knows he's going to get hit. He does, makes the catch under tough circumstances. Browning is down inside the 5-yard line, and now a Whitehall player being helped off the field. But a good catch by Dennis Browning on a chilly night here at War Memorial. And for Whitehall, a player apparently injured on that last play.
Well, the sun has made its way down, and the cold air is coming in here. It's a fairly breezy night, some wind coming in, and the temperature is dipping down, but the Arkadelphia offense is hot now at the 15-yard line. Bruce Bailey again. And now the Arkadelphia line really opening things up. Bailey got 7 yards to the 8.
Second down.
Bailey, the same thing he did in the first half, gets the pitch. He's already got some momentum going. He will take it, cut it up across outside of left tackle. He is down inside the 10-yard line to the 8. Bailey shows outstanding running. Arkadelphia about to make it a 2-touchdown ball game.
It's Bailey again. Dwayne Duck makes a good tackle. Bailey close to another first down at the 5.
Bruce Bailey carries.
It's a chilly night here at War Memorial. I left my house. I live about a mile from here this afternoon. It was 55 degrees. It's got to be down in the low 40s now. It is a very chilly night.
It's 3rd and a short 1 yard for the Badgers. Bruce Bailey with it. Bailey close to the 2-yard line, enough for a first down, and Arkadelphia will have 4 chances from the Whitehall 2.
Arkadelphia has picked up 6 first downs on this drive and started back at their own 26-yard line. They'll really have to choke up here not to score with 4 downs inside the 3 of Whitehall.
First and goal, Badgers at the Whitehall 2-yard line. Lonnie is the quarterback. John Lonnie has followed David Forthman into the end zone for the touchdown.
When you've got great running backs like Bailey and Fort, it lets your quarterback do this. They're watching for Bailey to run the ball, maybe Fort. Lonnie keeps it, catches the defense off guard, sneaks it up the middle. Touchdown, Badgers, they're up by 2 scores now.
Taylor, I got to meet John Lonnie, a senior, who had made the trip just a week and a half ago from Portland, Oregon to see the Badgers for the first time. I know he has to be happy with that run. Andy Russell kicks the extra point through the uprights, and the Badgers, with 5:47 to go in the 3rd period, have taken a 14-0 lead in the AAA state championship.
If there's one thing Southerners love, it's their truck. They like them to be rough, hard-nosed, and full of true performance. And there's nothing that'll make a Southerner's heart beat faster than the all-new Value Pack 88 full-size Dodge pickup truck. Test drive one today at your Southern Dodge dealer. From city to country, from back roads to bayous, there's only one truck for you, and it's got to be a Dodge. See the all-new line of 88 Dodge trucks at Edward Motor Company, 600 Malvern, Hot Springs. Watch and win with KRZB. Everyone's talking about Satellite Bingo, the game show where you're the contestant. All you need to play the game is a telephone, a television, and your official Satellite Bingo game card. Winning is easy. Just ask Susan Brackett of Arkadelphia. She won a brand new Chevrolet Beretta by playing Satellite Bingo, and you could be the next big winner. Play Satellite Bingo Saturday nights at 6, only on KRZB TV 26. Watch and win.
A very impressive 74-yard drive for the Badgers, Taylor. Taking it in. John Lanius from 2 yards out. And now it's 14-0.
It was the running of Bailey mixed up with some passing and an occasional run by Lavelle Fort. Bailey is now over 100 yards on the ball game.
Kickoff from Andy Russell to Marcus Jones. And down for the Badgers, Henry Beavers, number 20.
Michael Somerville, Henry Beaver makes the tackle. First down and 10.
Now Taylor Beaver, the senior tailback, who has had to watch a lot of this season behind Bruce Bailey, the junior. But he sure makes things happen when he gets on the special teams.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's helped Arkadelphia do so well this year, some great play on the special teams as well as the offensive and defensive units.
Brian Rogers, the quarterback for Whitehall. Make that Theon Barnes with the handoff, and he goes nowhere on first down.
Right up the middle for Theon Barnes, something that worked at times in the first half for Whitehall, but nothing there. Whole middle of the Arkadelphia line helps make the stop.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Rogers throws it. Looked like Chris Griffith, number 72, got a hand on it for the Badgers, and the pass goes incomplete.
Appeared to be intended Well, I couldn't tell who it was intended for, but one of the linemen did get a hand on it and batted the ball away. 4:43 now left in the third quarter.
Third and 10 now. Whitehall. They need to get to the Arkadelphia 31-yard line for a first down. Screen to Barnes, incomplete. The Badgers had it well covered anyway, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, they really seem to. And Kerry, I don't know what John Outlaw said at halftime, but this Arkadelphia team has come to the second half, fired up, drove 74 yards for the touchdown, and now have showed an impressive defensive stand, and perhaps Arkadelphia is ready to take control of the ball game.
And the last thing the Bulldogs want to do is punt the ball to Browning and Bailey at midfield, but that's what they have to do. Brian Rogers gets the kickoff. It's a good one, and it gets by Dennis Browning. What a punt by Rogers. He hit a low line drive that just got over the head of the Badgers return team.
53-yard punt. That was a 53-yard punt, and that was a great kick. He's going to get this one off for 53 yards, and Rogers does a great job, a left-footed kicker. Watch it take the nice roll, ends up being a 53-yarder, and Whitehall has managed to stay in the ball game with its punting. That drove Arkadelphia back inside its 30.
Well, again, for the second time in the second half, the Badgers start at their own 26. Laudius on the option. John Welch makes the tackle at the 31. And Welch is again over to make the stop. He has been all over the field for Whitehall.
Josh Dugan made the tackle.
Lonnie has picked up 5, however, and it's second and 5. Lonnie has got mixed up with Bailey in the backfield and goes down, and a flag as well.
This penalty holds, Kerry. It'll only be the second penalty we've seen in the ball game. It's been a very clean ball game. Holding penalty signal against the Badgers. Yeah, and apparently the handoff was supposed to go deep to Bailey there. John tried to do something with it. It had fooled a few of the defenders, but eventually coming back to make the tackle, it was Greg Wooten, the 10-yarder. The 10-yard penalty was declined. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Penalty was waved off, so still Arkadelphia without a penalty in the ball game.
Well, the Bulldogs take the play, and it's 3rd and 9. Laudius looking for Philip McGee. McGee in front of Dwayne Duck has the reception at the 48.
Great catch by McGee, and this will go as the longest pass play of the day. Lanius, the quick setup, got back there, saw McGee. He gets the ball now close to midfield, and that's a combination we've seen work at times this year. You know, Lanius has got so many people he can go to. He can go to Browning long, he can go to McGee from tight end. Either of the backs can catch the ball. Arkadelphia offensively can do a lot of things right.
Lanius fakes the handoff and throws deep. Philip McGee down there couldn't hold on. Josh Dugan on the coverage, and another penalty flag is down at about the 40-yard line. Taylor, while they discuss the flag, let us tell you the schools participating in this championship playoff game are members of the Arkansas Activities Association. And let's look at the replay here. Lanius tried to get it to McGee.
I mean, he tried to throw the home run ball.
Continue with the announcement. The Arkansas Activities Association, as authorized by the school boards of the schools, the administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities for the schools that are members of the AAA. And the AAA has done an excellent job putting together these state championship games at War Memorial.
It'll be a big one marked off against Arkadelphia, Gary.
Clipping.
They call clipping against one of the Badgers on a pass play. That's a little unusual.
First down.
And a 15-yard penalty will bring up 1st and 26.
I thought Lonnie has had plenty of time to throw back there, and apparently that was one of the reasons.
The 33-yard line.
So a first down and very long. 3:08 left in the third quarter. Badgers at their own 33-yard line. Bruce Bailey on a handoff. Bailey met hard by Josh Dugan, number 83.
Second down. 6.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 26. And another penalty flag goes down. Well, Taylor, we sure made it through a lot of this game without any penalties, and suddenly we start to see a few flags.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened here. Apparently the player that crossed the line there was Mark Quarles of Whitehall. That's what's going to be a 5-yard offside penalty against Whitehall. Just their second penalty of the ball game, though. They've only got 15 yards in total penalties.
Well, in high school football, they don't give you a chance to get back on defense. If you line up off sides, it's a penalty. And that will move it 5 yards closer. The Badgers still have to get to the Whitehall 41-yard line for a first down. Lanius to McGee. That picks up about 9 yards, but Dwayne Duck made the stop.
You know, that's something John does so well. Watch the very quick setup, a little timing pass right there. McGee with the catch, knows he's going to get hit. These guys looking like some NFL receivers do, who know they've got to catch it over the middle. But the Arkadelphia receivers are willing to catch the ball and get hit. McGee made a nice catch that time.
Had a gain of 13, brings up 3rd and 9. Lanius tried to run the ball. And that was a quarterback run all the way with Bruce Bailey out in front. But Whitehall chases him out of bounds. It'll be a loss of about 1 yard on the play, and 4th and 10 for Arkadelphia.
I'll tell you what Whitehall would like to do right here is break loose some kind of a long punt return. Because they haven't moved the football consistently enough to expect to be able to keep up with Arkadelphia's scoring. The Badgers have scored once in the first 2 quarters of each half.
Warren Finley punts it away. Ricky Francis calls for the fair catch at the 29-yard line. And that's where Whitehall will try to get on the board. So far shut out by the Badger defense. 1:47 left in the third period. We'll be back right after this.
Piggly Wiggly Interstate presents a gorgeous produce department that will enrich your eyes with color, tease your taste buds with delicacies, and whet your appetite with an appealing selection. Look at the prices. Sweet jumbo California navel oranges, only 69 cents a pound. Fancy delicious Washington State apples, only 69 cents a pound. And now Piggly Wiggly's well-known cut above the rest meat department. Use the convenient call button to ring up specials like these. Savory USDA choice boneless beef chuck roast, only $1.39 a pound. Or how about family pack fryer leg quarters, 38 cents a pound. What a deal. Low prices are just the beginning at Piggly Wiggly. Save twice as much every day with double coupons. Bring your bargains to the cashier and you'll find a friendly smile and a helpful hand. Before you leave, pick up your satellite bingo cards. $25,000 to $50,000 in cash and prizes are given away each week. Cards are available at Piggly Wiggly Interstate stores in Hot Springs, Malvern, and Arkadelphia. You get what you want at Piggly Wiggly for less.
First down, Whitehall at the 30-yard line. The handoff to the tailback, Marcus Jones. Jones picks up just a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
If Arkadelphia holds on to win the game, it will be despite some pretty poor punting. That punt only went 24 yards. In the first half, the Badgers punted the ball 2 times for an average of 28 yards. And you know, it's surprising a team that does so many things as well as Arkadelphia does doesn't punt the ball better, but they've played great football everywhere else this year.
Brian Rogers tries to throw. Too high for Doug Duggan. Carter McMillan was covering for Arkadelphia.
Incomplete. Brett Davis was defending. 3rd and 8.
When you look at what Arkadelphia's put on the board in this ball game, 14 points. And we mentioned in the pregame, Kerry, that they had scored at least 17 points in every game. They've at least that much in every game, and they're right on a pace for that. We're still not quite through in the 3rd quarter.
Rogers on 3rd down. Completes it to Jones. Jones tackled by Scotty Gills, but that's enough for a 1st down at the Arkadelphia 43.
That is Whitehall's first down of the 2nd half. Jones does a great job here. He completely just takes the ball away. Watch this. Jones will take it away from the defender on the play, Scotty Gills. 1st down goes to Whitehall. They've got it up to their own 43-yard line.
Jones did an excellent job after catching the ball to pick up the 1st down yardage.
And that was Sally defending, I beg your pardon, not Gills.
This time it's Tyra Carpenter, the fullback. Carpenter doesn't run it a whole lot, but he gets 10 yards and a 1st down in Arkadelphia territory.
As best I can tell for Carpenter, that was only his 1st carry of the day. So Carpenter picks up the 1st down when he touches the ball for the 1st time.
30 seconds left to go in the 3rd period. 1st down, Whitehall. Marcus Jones. Jones gets about 4 before stopped by Donnie Thomas. But Whitehall mounting a good drive here as we end near the end of the 3rd period.
They started back at their own 29-yard line. They've got it across midfield now, near to the Arkadelphia 40, and they really need a touchdown on this drive.
They'll have to get this play off in a big hurry if they want to before the end of the period, and they don't do it. That's the end of 3. After 3, Arkadelphia 14, Whitehall nothing in the AAA state championship game.
You believe in miracles? Well, Lyndall Trimble does, so listen carefully. Sure, he's got a gigantic inventory of 1988 Toyotas and at low, low prices, but this time there's even more. On December 22nd, Lyndall Trimble is going to give away this beautiful 1988 Toyota Tercel. That's right, I said give away. Tercel with its smooth styling just in time for Christmas. Hurry now, see the 1988 Toyota of your choice and register to win only at Lyndall Trimble Motors. Truly the miracle dealership in Hot Springs.
Share the fun and the excitement in the race for television's fastest fortune on the $100,000 Pyramid.
Take it to 2121. Somebody will win $5,000.
Join host Dick Clark and TV's top celebrities.
They not add, subtract, but they multiply. Correct.
In a contest for cash and prizes.
We're on our way to a perfect game. I can feel it.
Every day, it's a race for riches.
$100,000.
Right. On the $100,000 Pyramid.
Weeknights at 6:30 on TV 26.
Arkadelphia cheerleaders trying to bring this crowd to its feet. A great crowd. A majority of this side of War Memorial Stadium, Taylor, is full on the Arkadelphia home side, the west side.
Yeah, the shot you see there is the Whitehall side. Arkadelphia's side, crowd at least 50% bigger, but both teams have brought excellent followings with them.
On 1st down, it's the tight end reverse. That's Greg Wooten to the 10-yard line. Carter McMillan made the saving tackle.
I mean, did that play work or what? No one was there, and what a nice run by Wooten, who came from the left tight end spot. Wooten lined up left side tight end. The play goes left side. Wooten goes right side. He is all the way inside the 20-yard line down to the 10. A very innovative call by Whitehall coach Tom Edgood.
Well, we have seen Whitehall earlier in the season use the tight end play. That's the first time they pulled it today, and they picked a great time. The Badgers were caught by surprise. Now Wooten goes in motion. And that looked like a play that might go to Dugan to Greg Wooten in the corner of the end zone, but Rogers had to tuck it up and run. Short gain on the play, and it will be second down and about 10.
It was either going to be Wooten in the corner or Ricky Francis across the middle. Francis was crossing toward the post in the end zone, and I think either one of those would have been just fine with Rogers.
Marcus Jones, the tailback. Jones gets to the 6, ridden out of bounds by Donnie Thomas and Dennis Browning.
Browning again doing everything. Not quite in the same volume he did last week. Of course, last week Browning returned a kickoff 102 yards. And I noticed he was written up very nicely in the papers. And Browning was quoted as saying, "I was told to down up in the end zone, but I knew I could make it." Whitehall started this drive back on their own 29-yard line. They're really looking good.
Whitehall on the 6-yard line. Rogers throws. Marcus Jones could not reach the pass. Oh, was Marcus Jones open in the end zone?
I tell you, had his man beat by all you need to beat a guy by at that point. And watch Jones here. The rollout will go right side, and he knows he's going to hit Jones. Fights off a would-be tackler. Oh, boy, a couple inches more closer to Jones. It would have been a touchdown for Whitehall. Brings up a 4th down and 6 for the Bulldogs.
Well, no doubt about it, this is the play of the game so far. 11:05 to go in the ball game. Whitehall trailing by 14. 4th down and 6. They can get a first down, Taylor, around the 1-yard line. Rogers throws.
Oh, had a man.
Doug Doggett was the intended receiver, but the Badger defense holds on 4th down.
Rogers had Doug Doggett in the end zone. Give credit to Arkadelphia's defensive pressure there. They were all over Rogers, and Doggett really never had a chance to catch the ball. It was totally out of his reach. A huge defensive stand there for the Badgers. 14-0, 11 minutes left, 4th quarter.
And now Arkadelphia at their own 6-yard line after the big defense. Bruce Bailey. Bailey carries tacklers out around the 9-yard line, gain of 8.
Pitch is going to go to Bailey, and Bailey tries to do some things. Pretty good tackling there by Whitehall.
Darren Nix put a great block on Kevin Hubbard, the linebacker, to open up that hole. And Bailey has just got over the 100-yard mark in rushing with 103. Lavelle Ford trying to get the first down, but he is stopped short. Good stop by the inside of the Whitehall defense. George Bogey was in on the tackle.
There is an official timeout.
The officials will measure this, but it looks like Arkadelphia is just short of that first down. 10:19 to go. And as we see this measurement, let's remind you the Arkansas Activities Association sponsoring this playoff game. It's a voluntary nonprofit educational association of some 500 junior and senior public and private high schools of Arkansas. The regulations which guide these events are adopted by the schools themselves to determine the type of program they believe to be most desirable for high school youth. And the measurement shows that Arkadelphia is short by about 6 inches. It'll be 3rd down and that much. Now we get word from Gary Conner, our statistician, and John Lanius is 4 out of 5 throwing the ball now for 47 yards on the game. Getting closer to that average of about 10 or 12 completions after only attempting 1, or 10 or 12 attempts after only attempting 1 in the first half. 3rd and very short now for Arkadelphia. Lavelle Fort hit at the line of scrimmage, but goes forward for the first down. Lonnie Childress hit him, but Fort just uses his powerful legs to move forward for the first down.
Terry, Here's how field position has gone in the game for Arkadelphia. Started at their own 43, then listen to this, their own 1, their own 5. That was in the first half. In the second half, their own 26, their own 27, and their own 6. They have started 3 separate drives inside their own 10-yard line.
1st and 10 now from the 18. Bailey is hit hard. John Welch in the backfield to meet Bruce Bailey. Two excellent juniors on these two teams just introduced themselves. No gain brings up 2nd and 10. We're under 10 minutes to go in the game. Arkadelphia leads 14-0. Bailey looks to throw. And a penalty flag at the end of the play.
There's a flag on the play.
Chuck Vereen and Kevin Hubbard were over to make the stop.
Tackle was made by Chuck Vereen.
And that penalty may just go against Whitehall. And Taylor, looked like Bailey wanted to throw the ball downfield but decided to run and got good yardage. And the penalty doesn't hurt either. You get the official call from the referee, a personal foul, apparently a late hit by one of the Bulldogs, gives the Badgers a first down at the 38. Lanius to throw. Has Browning. Browning tackled by Dwayne Duck. I don't think the Badger coaching staff is going to like this spot, Taylor.
That's the way it's supposed to be done. Watch Duck deliver. What a hit here. Number 12 on number 12. And the fans boo when the spot is made. And they're not going to give him much forward progress there as Duck drives Browning down. Ball is marked at the 43-yard line. Still a good 4.5, 5 yards to go for a first down.
Bailey on the pitch. Bruce Bailey with the first down, and some great blocks by Rusty New, number 74, David Forthman, and Chris Webb on that right side. Bailey had a huge hole, tucked it in, cut inside for the first down.
First down, number 13 in the ball game for Arkadelphia, number 8 here in the second half. John Lanius now throwing the ball as some debris comes on the field.
It's a football, Taylor.
That's no debris, that's a football. When Lanius goes back to pass the next time, he'll go back 5 of 6 on the ball game for 56 yards. And you know, Kerry, it's what we've seen Lanius do all year. John Outlaw will use the pass sparingly, but when Lanius throws it, he'll complete, 60, 70% of them some games. This time, he's up close to 70, 75%.
Bailey is met hard.
Bailey carried short yardage.
Kevin Hubbard in on the stop for Whitehall, along with Keith Thomas, number 50.
Arkadelphia moving it once again. They're across midfield. And this now on a drive that started back at their own 6-yard line.
Taylor, you talked about John Lanius on the season, came into this game a 57% passer, 1,500 yards throwing the ball, and 14 touchdown passes, most of those to Dennis Browning.
And I know we saw several games, Lanius was 7 of 8, 9 of 12, things like that.
Bruce Bailey, the tailback, as the Badgers continue to use the clock. It's under 7 minutes now. 7 minutes to a championship. And a touchdown drive here, any kind of scoring drive, would pretty much clinch this game for Arkadelphia.
You know, when Whitehall didn't score, when they got down there inside the 10 a few minutes ago, that really made it tough for the Bulldogs. They have played a great game to stay with it with Arkadelphia, but Arkadelphia now appears to have things in control.
Lanius caught by Andy Russell, and a nice catch by Russell.
I tell you what, the official that made the call on that play did not have a very good angle. I couldn't tell if it was caught or not. That official did not have a very good angle at all. Let's see if we can see what happens here. A running pass. I think he caught it. I think he caught it. Obviously, we didn't have a very good angle either. It goes to the completion, another first down for the Badgers.
Well, the official was a lot closer than we were, but it did appear that Andy Russell made a good catch and a first down for Arkadelphia at the 37-yard line.
And Lanius is now 6 of 7 for 68 yards.
Lanius on the counter option to Bailey.
Bruce Bailey carried.
Nice stop by Marcus Jones coming up from the secondary. But Bailey picks up 5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
This is Bailey's 26th carry on the day, and Bruce is going to cut it up inside, beats a tackler there, gains 5. Bailey 26 carries for 125 yards. It's been another typical Bruce Bailey football game.
Now, you're right about that. Another day at the office, 100 plus. Lanius throws off balance. And a penalty goes down. Penalty flag goes down behind Dennis Browning.
And you know, from Browning's expression or from Browning's action, it appeared it's going to be a pass interference penalty against Whitehall. I'll need to see that again because I really couldn't tell.
It looked as though the pass was really too high to be caught, but I'm not sure they have a catchable pass rule in high school football or not.
Pass interference will go against Whitehall. There's a big break for the Badgers. That will take Arkadelphia now inside the Whitehall 30-yard line. The interference penalty does go against the Bulldogs.
The line of scrimmage was the 33, and they should mark off 15 yards from there. That would put it at the 18-yard line. And the Badgers would have an excellent scoring opportunity as we near the 5-minute mark in the state championship game.
Penalty yardage has now become a little bit of a factor for Whitehall. That's their 4th penalty, a total of 40 yards in penalties on the Bulldogs, and that gives the Badgers great field position. And as you mentioned here, Kerry, a touchdown just about certainly puts this game away.
And the ball is inside the 18, closer to the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 Badgers. And they have worked close to 6 minutes off the clock on this drive.
And remember, this drive started way back at their own 6-yard line.
Lanius to Bailey. Bruce Bailey gets to the 6-yard line. You saw number 61, Gary Jackson, out in front of Bailey, and Chris Webb also with the key blocks.
Here's the 9th first down of the second half, and it's Bailey once again. This is vintage Bruce Bailey. Tries to cut it toward the middle, will cut it outside, a gain of over 10 yards. I tell you,
Taylor, when he gets those open field runs, he just glides in and out, avoiding tacklers. He is fun to watch from the backfield.
Great interference there. You saw it by 75 Darren Nix. And now the officials will call a timeout.
Yeah, Bruce Bailey has something wrong with his shoulder pads. We'll take a quick timeout and be back here to War Memorial Stadium right after this.
There's something you can see and a lot to feel at a full-blown Arkansas institution, Piggly Wiggly Interstate, where you always find honest values, great service, and only the finest products available at low prices like these. Thirst-quenching Pepsi, Pepsi-free, Mountain Dew, Diet Pepsi, and Slice. 3-liter bottles only $1.19. Pedal Soft Northern Tissue, a 4-roll package only 69 cents. Double coupons save you twice as much every day. Piggly Wiggly saves you money and time with easy-to-find specials like these. Green Giant corn, niblets, cream style, or whole kernel, 17-ounce size, only 39 cents. And Green Giant sweet peas, 17-ounce size, just 39 cents. Save your Piggly Wiggly brand labels and redeem them for 2 cents apiece. A great idea for organized fundraising. Before you leave Piggly Wiggly, pick up your satellite bingo cards available in Hot Springs, Malvern, and Arkadelphia. $25,000 to $50,000 in cash and prizes are given away each week. You get what you want at Piggly Wiggly for less.
While we were away, Bruce Bailey carried down to the 2-yard line. It's 2nd and goal from the 2 for Arkadelphia. Bailey again. Throws. Touchdown. Philip McGee for the score.
Bailey did it all on that touchdown drive. A 94-yard touchdown drive for the Badgers. Bruce Bailey rolls right side. They weren't expecting this. Passes into the end zone. Tight end McGee is there. Badgers lead it 20-0.
And McGee wasn't exactly wide open. Frederick Rhodes, pretty good coverage. A great throw by Bailey. Andy Russell kicks it up high. And good. 4:21 left in the ball game, and the Badgers lead 21-0.
Do you believe in miracles? Well, Lyndall Trimble does, so listen carefully. Sure, he's got a gigantic inventory of 1988 Toyotas and at low, low prices, but this time there's even more. On December 22nd, Lyndall Trimble is going to give away this beautiful 1988 Toyota Tercel. That's right, I said give away. Tercel with its smooth styling just in time for Christmas. Hurry now, see the 1988 Toyota of your choice and register to win only at Lyndall Trimble Motors. Truly the miracle dealership in Hot Springs.
Hello, I'm Deputy PC. I help Arkansas sheriffs do their work. I may be little, but I can do big things. I can tell children about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. I can tell them about the difference between a good touch and a bad touch. I can give them safety tips and tell them how to deal with strangers. I can do a lot more, but I need your help. The Garland County Sheriff's Office wants to give me a home, and they need your tax-deductible contributions. Please help me to help the kids. Send tax-deductible donations to this address or call 321-2683 for more information. Thanks.
There you see some of the Badger fans pulling for KRCB and the Badgers. We appreciate that very much. Bruce Bailey got the big touchdown pass to Philip McGee in the end zone.
I tell you, that was nice too. Bailey now 1 for 1 throwing the football today with a touchdown. 3 yards passing for Bailey, and Arkadelphia looks tough all over.
And Taylor, the Badgers used up over 6.5 minutes of time on that drive. They took over with 11 minutes to go. Now Russell kicks it off. And Marcus Jones has it. Jones powers up to the 39-yard line. Down for the Badgers was number 24, Andy Russell.
One more look at the nice touchdown run. Bailey to McGee in the end zone. We said Bruce Bailey's first completion of the day, and Arkadelphia leads 21-0. I don't think Whitehall was looking for that at all.
Well, this crowd is really up now. They sense things on the west side of the stadium. Close to 4 minutes left to go in the ball game. Arkadelphia up by 3 touchdowns, and expect to see some throwing from the Whitehall offense. Dwayne Duck is the quarterback. Flag goes down. Duck throws deep. And Carter McMillan knocks it away from Ricky Francis.
I tell you, and what Duck threw that time was a wounded duck. That's the last one, okay? I'm sorry. Penalty flag on the play.
Well, Francis was trying to get behind McMillan and Donnie Thomas. McMillan almost had an interception. And the Badgers are talking over the penalty with the officials. Four minutes exactly to go. Arkadelphia leading 21-0, and we got the holding penalty. 5 yards marked off against Whitehall, and it's 1st and 15. Option play goes to Marcus Jones. Excellent pursuit that time by Derek Sally, the linebacker. Taylor, I don't think the Bulldogs want that kind of play because it doesn't go very far and it uses a whole lot of time.
And time is something they don't have too much of right now. They're down by 21. Arkadelphia players are starting to sense that thing that has eluded Coach John Outlaw since 1979, a state championship.
Duck drops the throw. Almost had Marcus Jones. Donnie Thomas tipped it away, and Carter McMillan almost had another interception.
And I tell you, Thomas has a shot here at the ball. Gets off a nice pass. Does Rogers. Whoa, tipped up in the air. And the ball goes incomplete. There's another angle on the ball. But Thomas had a chance to intercept it right there. And then another chance when the ball fell to the ground. And McMillan had a chance to pick up that one, but it goes as an incomplete pass.
The Badger defensive secondary has really been tough here in the second half. Whitehall not able to do much through the air. This time, the throw to the tight end. It's Greg Wooten with the reception at the Arkadelphia 45. That was a good throw by Dwayne Duck in between the defenders.
Yeah, it was a good catch by Wooten, too, and Whitehall needs to string together several of those right now. That first down was their 5th of the second half. They've got 11 so far in the ball game.
Under 3 minutes to go. First down, Whitehall at the Arkadelphia 45. Screen set it up for Jones. Donnie Thomas throws Jones into his own bench, and a penalty flag goes down.
Please ask that everyone stay off the field at the conclusion of the ball game so that we can have the awards presentation.
Watch the pressure here. Now this is the completion, I beg your pardon, the completion of the tight end out across the 50 down to the 45-yard line. Good catch by the tight end. Dwayne Duck unofficially now 3 of 7 for 28 yards. Gary Garner doing a great job on the stats.
The penalty moves it to the 30-yard line, a personal foul against the Badgers. It gives Whitehall a first down there, 2:38 to go. Duck throws for Wooten. The reception at the 9-yard line. First and goal for Whitehall.
Complete to Greg Wooten.
Now you think back to the previous possession as we watched the completion by Duck. Had Whitehall scored previously, boy, this completion to Wooten would have been even a bigger factor. They'd have been making it with a touchdown here if they get the touchdown, a 7-point game. If they score here, though, it'll still make it a 2-touchdown difference. But Whitehall starting to do something, football in the air, and they're starting to show some effectiveness there.
Whitehall's had a couple of chances close to the Badger goal line, but has yet to score. Duck throws short. Dennis Browning had Marcus Jones covered, and it will be second down and goal from the 9.
Fred Owens pressuring the passer. Second down and goal.
It's been a great season for Coach Tom Ed Gooden. Came into this game 11-2. It appears he'll go out 11-3, but anytime you make it to the final game, it's been a great year for your team.
And the Badger defense has called a timeout here. 2:12 left to go in the game. And we'll take a break ourselves. 21-0 Arkadelphia over Whitehall. We'll be back in just a minute.
Do you believe in miracles? Well, Lyndall Trimble does, so listen carefully. Sure, he's got a gigantic inventory of 1988 Toyotas and at low, low prices, but this time there's even more. On December 22nd, Lyndall Trimble is going to give away this beautiful 1988 Toyota Tercel. That's right, I said give away. Tercel with its smooth styling just in time for Christmas. Hurry now, see the 1988 Toyota of your choice and register to win only at Lyndall Trimble Motors. Truly the miracle dealership in Hot Springs.
Ouachita Children's Center is an emergency shelter for youth with decades of tradition of service to the Hot Springs area. Offering counseling and referral services to children and families who are experiencing difficulties is why we're here. Because we're funded in part by donations from the public, without your help, the good work we do would come to a halt. Help us to continue our tradition of service. by supporting Ouachita Children's Center.
After the timeout, Badger defense talking things over. Todd Quick, one of the defensive coaches for the Badgers, sending in instructions from defensive coordinator Willie Tate. Coach Tate was honored by the Badger Booster Club and a whole lot of well-wishers before the game with a ring. 16 years of service for the Badger coach, offensive line coach and defensive coach for the Badgers. 2nd and goal, Whitehall from the 9-yard line. Duck rolls left. Dwayne Duck to the 2-yard line. He is really stuck over there out of bounds. Dennis Browning, Derek Sally
made the tackle,
and Scotty Gills really put it to Duck.
From the 3.
But 7-yard gain on the play, and it's 3rd down and 2 now. And the clock stops at 2:05. Best scoring opportunity of the game for the Bulldogs. They're at the Arkadelphia 2. 3rd down and goal. Marcus Jones. Touchdown, Whitehall.
Marcus Jones, touchdown, Whitehall.
Well, the Bulldogs able to get it in the end zone for the first time today. Carter McMillan is the safety who almost stops Jones, but he dives forward. And the Whitehall crowd finally has something to cheer about. Donnie Thomas actually the one underneath as we get the look from the upstairs view. But the Bulldogs are on the board at 1:58 to go in the game, 21-6, and now Whitehall wants a timeout. 21-6 is the score, with Jones taking it over. And now the Bulldogs may be trying to set up some type of two-point play. They need a whole bunch of points in a big hurry with just under 2 minutes to go in the game. But that was an important drive, something they were not able to do at the 11-minute mark, score the touchdown. They do here. And the Badger lead is cut to 21-6. Well, we have this chance. The Arkansas Activities Association is one of 50 state organizations that belong to the National Federation of State High School Associations. This association formulates policies, game rules, and standards for inter-school competition. The schools of Arkansas have adopted these rules on eligibility, which correspond to those recommended by the National Federation. And after the timeout, the Bulldogs will just line up and kick an extra point. Marcus Jones is the kicker. Wobbly kick goes wide left. And the Bulldogs do not get the extra point. So it stays 21-6 with 1:58 to go. And no doubt we will see an onside kick upcoming from Whitehall. Well, we do have this chance. This is our last game of the season that you'll see on TV 26, and I certainly do want to thank everybody on the crew that's helped with these games this year. Everyone has just done a terrific job to bring you high school football, and we hope you've enjoyed the broadcasts this season. We've certainly enjoyed bringing them to you on KRZB. Now Arkadelphia has 10 players within 20 yards of the ball.
Jones the kick on.
And the onside kick is caught in the air. Badgers have it at their own 47. And that was none other than Chris Webb.
At the 47-yard line.
Webb is the Badgers' right guard who makes a nice catch on the onside kick. Arkadelphia now will just try to use the clock, winding down to 1:45 to go in the ball game. Lania sends Henry Beaver to the sideline. And now Arkadelphia is forced to take a timeout with 1:33 to go. A little bit of confusion that time. Beaver was in the game at the same time as Bruce Bailey. And Arkadelphia takes a timeout. You see Coach John Outlaw walking out to his team. Has to be a very proud head coach right now. This team has reached the #1 ranking in the state overall for the first time that a AAA school has received that distinction. And they will try to finish the season ranked #1 in the state. Just a little bit of extra icing on top of the cake for the Badgers. If they can finish out this game and win the AAA state championship, they will also be the overall state champions, or the closest thing to it in football, because all of the polls have Arkadelphia #1. By the way, Bruce Bailey, 142 yards rushing on the game, with Lavelle Ford adding 41 for the Badgers. Another great game from Bruce Bailey. And it's Bailey again. Dwayne Duck, who's had a really good game for the Bulldogs on defense, makes the stop. And Bailey's yards have come just like that pretty much all day, about 5 or 6 yards at a time, sometimes less than that. Really no big long runs for Bruce today. And a penalty flag will go against Arkadelphia. Apparently one of the offensive linemen called for something, because Coach Tate on the sideline, very vocal as he yells out at his team. Gary Garner tells me that John Lanius is 6 for 8 passing the ball for 68 yards. John Lanius continuing his solid play. Badgers just 126 from being able to say #1 in AAA and in the state. That's a personal foul against Arkadelphia, which wipes out the game by Bailey and makes it 1st and 25. And no wonder Coach Tate was a little upset. Henry Beaver now the fullback for Arkadelphia, in front of Bruce Bailey.
Bruce Bailey carried.
Bailey picks up 5 or 6. Dwayne Duck made sure he went no further than that. And Whitehall now takes a timeout with 54 seconds left in this game.
Green made the tackle.
21-6 is the score. Arkadelphia leads Whitehall, and we'll be back right after this. Stadium lit up by the Badgers, 21-6, as Henry Beaver gets the handoff.
Henry
Beaver, the senior, gets to carry the ball here in the state championship game. Whitehall takes another timeout with 47 seconds left, trying to preserve some time and have a chance at the ball again. Badgers will be faced with a 3rd down and very long. Taylor Carr, by the way, has made his way to the sideline and will do all he can to try to rescue a couple of coaches from the winning team's side. If nothing absolutely remarkable happens in the next 47 seconds, it appears it will be the Badger coaches who will be on the sideline with Taylor. There's Coach Outlaw talking to his offense. And right now, about all you can say is, let's try to finish things up as cleanly as possible. We've done our job on the scoreboard. Let's make sure that nobody gets a little bit out of hand here. We've had a couple of personal fouls in the last few minutes.
So that we may have the
not something you really want to see here at the end of a game. And it's 3rd down and about 15 for Arkadelphia, and they go in a wishbone set in the backfield. Beaver and Lanius is one of the backs. It was Beaver, Bailey, and Lanius. Dennis Browning lined up at quarterback, took the handoff and lost about 3 yards.
Dennis Browning.
How about this? Dennis Browning, the quarterback, just out there to waste some time, I suppose.
18.
Whitehall defense right there on the stop. And Whitehall cannot stop the clock again. They are out of timeouts. The clock is under 20 seconds. and 7 seconds left on the 25-second clock, so the Badgers will take a penalty here. 5 seconds left on the clock. Arkadelphia fans on their feet here. Just 5 seconds between them and the state championship, as well as a #1 ranking in the state of Arkansas. Quite an accomplishment by Coach Outlaw and the rest of the coaching staff. And these Arkadelphia Badgers, they really have earned it this year. Dennis Browning again, the quarterback. On 4th down, options to Launius, a previous quarterback. That takes up 5 seconds, and it's all over.
Arkadelphia 21, Whitehall 6.
The Arkadelphia Badgers are the 1987 AAA state champions,
which will be coming up immediately.
There's just a look at some of the great crowd that showed up from Arkadelphia to pull for the Badgers. They have done it. They have gone 14-0 with a 21-6 win over the Whitehall Bulldogs. There's a happy group on the sideline. Here come the Badgers to say thank you to these fans. Both teams lining up on the sideline.
To the 50-yard line, where the
and now we have the official presentation.
Activities Association, Mr. Leon Wigginton, Superintendent of Schools at Wynn, will make the presentation of awards. The first award to the 1987 Class 3A state runner-ups, the Whitehall Bulldogs.
The Whitehall Bulldogs are receiving their runner-up trophy at midfield now. And what an excellent season for Whitehall. There's Coach Tom Adgooden taking the trophy from a representative of the Arkansas Activities Association. And they should be very proud of the job they did this year. An excellent season for Whitehall. They finish at 11-3 and no doubt will be the #2 team in AAA. And nothing to feel bad about because the Arkadelphia team this year, a very special team. And now the presentation will go to the Badgers.
And now, the 1987 Class 3A state champions, the Arkadelphia Badgers.
Somewhere in the middle of that mob at midfield, Coach John Outlaw is being presented with the trophy from the Arkansas Activities Association, his second state championship trophy for Arkadelphia, and the second ever state championship in football for Arkadelphia. This was the Badgers' 4th trip to the state championship game. And as we set up to talk to the Arkadelphia coaches who made it happen, we'll take this quick timeout and be right back to War Memorial Stadium.
The Class double.
Final score, Arkadelphia beats Whitehall. Taylor Carr has the 2 coaches from Arkadelphia on the sideline.
Arkadelphia crowd yelling, we're #1. 2 of the coaches that made it possible with me now, Coach John Outlaw, Assistant Coach Willie Tate. First of all, Coach Tate, how does this team stack up some of the you've seen here at Arkadelphia?
Well, since I've been here, I think it's the best that's been around.
And you were honored tonight. What does all this got to mean to you?
The greatest honor of my life.
Coach, congratulations. And Coach Outlaw, you were out there saying something like, it's a dream, only happens once in a lifetime. For you, it's twice in a lifetime.
Well, you know, the first time it happened, as I told the reporters, I was 25 years old. I didn't really know and wasn't old enough to appreciate what had happened. I was just happy as I could be to have a coaching job. And I just fell into some great athletes, and they played hard. And, you know, I've worked 8 hard years to get back here, and thanks to a lot of great athletes, things have worked out for us.
Coach, on top of your championship at 3A, the undisputed championship of all of football in Arkansas, I know you thought all year long your team was that good.
Well, I knew we had a good football team, and, you know, it's just one of them years where 4A football maybe is not quite as good as it's been in years gone by. And I'm not saying that 3A football can be number 1 in the state every year, but this football team has won 14 football games, and they beat 3 4A football teams and soundly defeated them. So I feel like we earned it. I don't think we backed into it.
Compare this team to the 79 team.
Well, they're not quite as good defensively and a whole lot better offensively, and I love every kid that ever played for them.
Coach, great win for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Badger coach John Outlaw, great win for the Badgers. 79, now 87. We'll find out when it is next. Kerry, back up to you.
And Taylor Carr, thank you for catching both of the coaches. Obviously happy and had to drag them away from their teams. We very much appreciate them stopping by. Coach Willie Tate, what a job he's done. 16 years with the Arkadelphia school system, and for about the last 12 years with the Arkadelphia high school football team, has always handled the offensive line and the defense for the Badgers. A very quiet man, but a very proud man also of the Arkadelphia team and what it has done since he has been there. He has had a big part in that, and he was honored before tonight's game, very deserving by the Badger Booster Club. And John Outlaw now with his 2nd state championship in his 9th season at Arkadelphia. He got one the first year, and now this team, a couple of wins better than the 1979 Arkadelphia Badger team. Hats go off to Arkadelphia this year as they finish up 14-0 and the state champions in AAA, and they beat a very good Whitehall Bulldog team. Whitehall finishing at 11-3. 21-6 was the final score. Congratulations to both teams. And again, we have to say thank you to all the teams who appeared on TV 26 this year as we brought you high school football. We're very glad to be able to bring you these games, and we appreciate you watching them. For Taylor Carr, I'm Kerry Garnett at War Memorial Stadium. The final score again, Arkadelphia 21, Whitehall 6 for the state championship in AAA, and for Arkadelphia an overall state #1 ranking, which they'll be able to keep for the rest of this season until next year. Thanks so much for watching this year, everybody, and from everybody on the KRZB crew, we'll see you next time.